Namaste. I will be presenting on understanding Anasakti. I will describe it a little more as we go further, and its relationship with mental health. Coming to Anasakti, it is a kind of Hindi term, you can say, Hindi Sanskritized kind, which means that non-attached. I guess this concept would be familiar to people in who is practicing Buddhism also, as well as other traditions from India. The names or the terms differ, I guess. So I was told that it is in Tibetan. It is called Dochak Pangwa. Does it connect to you? Okay. So if we look at it from the dictionary meaning, in Oxford Dictionary, attachment means some kind of fixture, some kind of bond, some kind of affection. And non-attachment is has a variety of meaning. Some of it is a little not so positive, for example, aloofness. On the other hand, there are meanings like dispassion or less concern or lack of concern with material things. It is considered to be a psychological quality, and there are 9 schools of philosophy or darshan in Indian tradition, Buddhism being one of them. And each of these traditions emphasize anasakti or non-attachment as something very core for personal growth or spiritual development. It can also be, as a first day, Geshe-la had said that it is one of the virtues in Buddhism. And it can also be seen as virtue of self-control or emotional balance. When we talk about non-attachment, there has been some studies. One of the first study in the modern psychology was done in 1992 by a group from University of Allahabad, Pandya Naidu. And then recently in last 5 to 7 years, there has been more research happening. And they have found that non-attachment as a quality is related to better ability to manage stress, more self-compassion, as well as higher well-being. Just before discussing it further, I wonder if everyone has got some sense of what is non-attachment? Okay. I hear a lot of yes, so I'll go further, and then as we go further, we will understand it better. So in our, one sec. Okay. It's before I go to the current study, I want to mention that it is one of the different terms have been used even in the Vedic tradition. For example, rag, upadana, for asakti. So to understand non-attachment, it's also good to understand what is attachment in the tradition. In the tradition, it's considered to be, if we look at Patanjali Yoga Sutra, it says that what follows the pleasure. So for example, if you're enjoying a good cake with coffee and all, you enjoy it. But what immediately follows is many of us respond, I wish I can have one more. Or else I wish I can enjoy it more often. So when we have something very pleasurable experience, very often we have this thing about either we want to hold on to that pleasure, or we want to continue it for a longer period of time, or we want it again. So it goes on from clinging, wanting to hold on to something, a pleasurable experience, and craving, where we want it again and again when we are not having it. So that is the attachment. And non-attachment is more of a flexible kind of way of connecting with our experiences, where we are okay with what experiences come, and we are okay to let them go. And when it comes to our actions, non-attachment is about focusing on what we are doing it at our best. However, not so much focused on the outcome of what we are doing, because outcome of any action is determined by many other factors. For example, if there is economic slowdown and I'm doing my best, it might be beyond my control to look at the global economic slowdown. I can only focus on my actions, my work, doing it as best as I can. We were looking at, in our current research, we were trying to understand what people think about anasakti as a psychological quality, as well as its relationship with positive and negative emotions, satisfaction with life, attitude towards self and others in terms of four immeasurable: Maitri, Karuna, Mudita, and Upeksha. So these, I think, would be familiar, as well as the wisdom. We used a mixed method research design, which is like taking some questionnaires and asking people to rate on their experiences on those questionnaires, as well as taking interviews, talking to them, or allowing them to describe their experiences more in detail. Okay, so we looked at what is anasakti. We asked people, around 200 plus people, what do they understand by anasakti. One of the reasons was to understand what general people think about it and experience it. Because in tradition, we know there are enlightened beings who have perfect anasakti or non-attachment, and then there are people who do not have. So it's like a category, like either people have it or they don't have it. What about people in between who have a little bit, a little more? So we wanted to understand what happens to most of us. So when we went and asked what people understand about it, they said that it's detachment from material existence. So being not very clingy and holding on to whatever material things they have. They also said that it's related to emotional balance and equanimity and being able to let go of good and bad things which is happening. Okay, looks like some things are missing here. So they also spoke about doing things for other people, being able to see everyone in a similar manner rather than having partiality towards some people who are closer to them. And we also found that a lot of people think it is negative. It's not like all the time positive, because many times people thought that it would lead to going away from other people or alienation from other people. Many people also thought that it might lead to lack of motivation. You don't have enthusiasm if you don't have any attachment and desire. So people had both kinds of meaning which they continued in their mind. Looking at why this concept is important, in some of the studies, 2 studies which we had also done, we found that when people have higher levels of non-attachment or anasakti, it is related to more positive emotions, more satisfaction with their lives, more wisdom, and more, you can say, positive attitude towards other people, like compassion and friendliness. And when people have higher levels of non-attachment or anasakti, they also have lower levels of negative emotions, less frequently, and lower levels of negative attitude towards both self and others, so like more self-compassion as well as more compassion for other people. It is also important because most people thought that, 80% in fact, thought that having anasakti would help us, everyone, to manage stress. So if you are having more non-attachment, you will have better ability to manage stress. Especially in a population who had difficulty, almost half of them found it difficult when stress comes, they find it difficult to manage it in this group. So we wanted to also understand how do they experience, and when do they experience, and what happens when people experience non-attachment. So a small group of people said that they experience anasakti when they are doing spiritual practices, contemplation, meditation, all kinds of spiritual practices. It's very intentional. They choose to experience it. How? However, a lot of people experienced it when things happened to them. Some people had this when they are experiencing good things. For example, they are very happy, everything is taken care of, all is going well, they are having achievement, other people are supporting them, their family is in comfortable situation, or they are being supported by other people, or they are doing good things for other people. So they were having this sense that, okay, they are inside, deeply inside, non-attached. However, a lot of people, like 60% had experienced non-attachment when things are going bad, when difficult situations are happening. There is discrimination, there is a sense of betrayal, they have lost something very important, they're having family conflict, their loved ones and family members are not in a comfortable stage, maybe illness, maybe some kind of death and all, or they're having physical suffering. Looking at how often they experience, so a small group of people experience it like quarter number of people, like 1/4, experience it very regularly. 32% people said that we don't experience at all or very rarely, but majority people said that sometimes like they experience it. And when it happens for most people, it depends on what is the situation, how long it will last, and why it will increase, decrease, how it ends, and they get busy. For some people, they also mentioned that it stays for them for a day. Interestingly, probably like after sleeping, next day, next morning, it seems like different. And what do they think about how to develop it? So especially this question is so important given that we have seen non-attachment is related to a lot of beneficial things. And it might help in those people who are struggling with anxiety, depression, addiction to something, or some kind of conflict or adjustment problems. So if we look at it, psychological change considered to be happens when people want to change. They think they can change or do something about it, and they can actually do something about it. So it's important to understand what people think. Here we found some kind of conflict. Although majority people think that anasakti or non-attachment is desirable, it's important to develop it. A lot of people also thought that desire and attachment is also important, and it's important to have it. So there's a conflict. On one hand, we think that, yeah, when things are difficult or stressful, we feel that maybe it's good to be non-attached. But when things are general or normal or good, we don't want to be detached or non-attached. We want to, we think that desire leads to development, innovation in the world. So there is a conflict here. People also thought that, yes, they can develop, they can have some kind of ways general people can develop, they can also develop, especially in stress. But when things are going well, only half of them thought that, okay, they can develop it. So the sense of control is also less. Because many people think that it is natural, it is built in human life to be attached. And what about actual control? It's interesting to see that although most of us, and even in this group, a lot of people said that they have experienced non-attachment for something with which they were once attached to. For example, you might be very attached to a doll or a plaything as a child, and then gradually you become non-attached to that. Or maybe a person, and gradually you become non-attached to that person. So same way, a lot of people mentioned that they have experienced it, but actually trying to develop it, very small people said. They try to do it, just 1 out of every 4 people. And we also had done another study where we asked friends and peer groups and classmates to nominate a wise person in their class. And when we interviewed these wise people, they said that out of all these 4 immeasurables, non-attachment is actually hardest to develop. And even in that, non-attachment for positive experiences are most hard. Letting go of negative experiences, even these wise people were a little better as compared to everyone else. But letting go of positive experience, they themselves said that, no, it's very hard. So coming to what we have learned, people are conflicted about its desirability. Its sense of control also differs depending on whether it's negative experiences or stress versus positive experiences. And how to develop it? Majority people thought that, well, it can be developed by spiritual practices or cognitive changes, your thinking pattern changes, you learn from life, you contemplate, you change your lifestyle, you start caring for other people. And, here what we also found that if we have to work with developing some kind of non-attachment, we need to take care of these things. We need to help people find clarity about these conflicts in their mind, help them to find pathways to develop it, and about the control part of it. So I'll stop here, given my time is over. So what we can do is you can ask questions and then we can have more discussion. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot.
That was an excellent presentation. Thank you for sharing your work with us. I had a question about the attachment and the greater satisfaction and well-being. So at what point is it, like I think about my talk that I just gave with CBCT and the nurturing moment and like sort of focusing on building an attachment there, just using your past experience. Can you just expand a little bit about what is a sort of healthy level of attachment to another versus one that is maladaptive?
Just to, before I answer exactly your question, I would also mention that as in the psychological tradition, attachment has been seen to be the bond between child and the mother, which is like, or the caretaker, the primary caretaker, which gradually becomes the foundation for all our relationship. So when we learn about how much we can trust, how much we can depend on our mother, and then we start expanding it to the world also. So that concept is slightly different. Here we are focusing more on the clinging and craving. So wanting to hold on to pleasure and wanting the pleasure again and again. And in some studies which I have come across, they have also looked at looking at the secure attachment versus beyond. So, and they felt that non-attachment probably might be another level of maturity of personality. And coming to your question about healthy attachment versus non-healthy attachment, so it's like what I mentioned earlier in Patanjali Yoga Sutra, they have mentioned that what follows the pleasure. So the experiences of bonding, having good times with other people, that is different, while when we want to hold on to other people, or when we want them to be all the time with us, or when they are not there, we start craving for them, long for them, that starts going towards the unhealthy, although we all have experienced that. So.
So I have just gone through research on quality of marital life and anashakti, and in that they have found that the couple who, or the individuals who possessed a higher level of anashakti or detachment, that couple possessed better marital quality of life. So could you please just link this with the attachment that we talk from a Western concept, where we always say that the marital quality of life would be better if the couple was attached or the two people were attached to each other. But this is coming from a completely different perspective, where we are saying that if the people who are involved in a close relationship are going to be possessing higher levels of detachment or anashakti, or non-attachment, not detachment rather, then they would possess better marital quality of life.
So you mean that they found better, more anasakti and better quality of life?
Yes.
So if we look at these terms, they sometimes get a little confusing, because when we assess attachment from the attachment theory perspective, we look at whether we think that we can trust on the other person, whether we feel We want to go back to them and have some kind of proximity to them and all. However, it doesn't measure the clinginess and the cravings and all. On the other hand, a lot of marital relationship or general relationship also go down because of this need for pulsion, this need for wanting the other person to change as per our ideas or be there all the time, where then it starts getting difficult because the other person might have the same ideas for us so it starts, the friction starts and then the quality of life goes down. So if we have this non-attachment, the sense of that being caring, being equanimous about good and bad things, not having this need to hold on to good times with the partner, that would be the healthier part. I guess so.
Yes, I'm Balaram. Machak Baladi, Logum Badiranga Sekio Tamal Bagishin, the Kabores and Gidra. And only son than Dabu Machak Bading was Chakba Pangoresa. Chakba Pang la Korangi when the Chakba Pang to be and Chakba Pangche, Machak Balodi Koran Gumpel to Canisatang and Nane.
So when we talk about non-attachment, first we have to get rid of this attachment. So how can we attain or talk about non-attachment? How can we practice or?
Although we had not done any study directly on intervention module, but learning from this study was that apart from spiritual practices, some bit of it also comes from life experiences. Some bit of might come with contemplation on life itself, whether we can really hold on to any pleasurable things, whether when we are looking at outcomes of whatever we are doing, whether if we keep waiting for that, if we get those outcomes, how long will the pleasure last? If we don't get it, how much dissatisfied we might have? And like any experiential or cognitive errors, it will take time to work on it.
And the dish you did Tambudi Naransugi, the Dito Langansugi, Chotablanere, Ke Yamshit in the Chew Mares, Digalani, Jidan Karito Nishigur Law and Anzu, Chodan Jewet, Yamlinche, Radidanche, and Teranashi. Mizigi nyongwa hari yume dile shishan shigures and terana shingaran sugita susula chashawena chikchewa ina digi dumde khari thungures laada and chikthumba de chikchewa digi susu digi thanda unigi digi thuguyo ina di guring le khagas nigre lajora digi an susulu de khwa khagas chungu yume di sangmata gyores
ni korange ngone machak padi ngoi zmara chakba pango yo damenda di kani chirang ngena.
So my question is, if you talk about non-attachment, do you believe that first of all we need to get rid of this attachment?
Like when we are talking about non-attachment and getting rid of attachment, we need to understand what we are trying to get rid of beyond the word. When a lot of people mention that desire is helpful, so whether the desire for outcomes and people or whether the desire for maybe becoming better, developing more compassion. So probably we will have to then differentiate the nuances of what we are wanting to get rid of and maybe get rid of what is unhelpful and allow what is helpful to stay. As in the tradition says that the desire for enlightenment or moksha is the one which is helpful till the last point. Not always, they say that till the last point it is helpful.
Tanda anzu di chakpa da machapa shiwe kapsu tanda chakpa di chi khariga shigur lan anzu chaksa di khande jime jora di ani di mila chagure dumde latani chagure susu deba khari yume di la chik chagures an di chik di susu khari gugu yume di la shal chagures kesi chik gundo yo di susu gi ngobo da khari imbani di en susu le pengidu nugudu sangwa do nyamba do di tagu res di la tani ani anzu shigures chasha ina tanda kya koran su moksha lida di ta sange di do chagura dinde roji chagu na di ani matho pado di ngaranjul phengyu ras di gugu ras di goege lodi di gis phengyu do dinde re gindu kala anzu di yawa chigi yores susu khari gugu yume jora dili shishani ani chakpa di korshi yores mugo nugu yuwa na pa che goya imba na ya liya dinde chigi yores
well logic ya jira machak pe logic ya da so tamal ka di je me jang ra gom thugi me jang da tharba da thamje ke go ban ji thogora da tharba jan thamje ke go ban di ma thobala di machak pe lodi ke gi na nga zambala di pe khagore samgi do shin.
So when one has not attained enlightenment, I don't think that the person has reached to the level of having this sense of non-attachment.
You mean to say that when someone has reached enlightenment, they have become non-attached?
So
that
she's
is
saying
what.
that up till that point, when the whoever has attained enlightenment, until that point, I don't think that that person or the enlightened one has attained this non-attachment.
No, I'm slightly confused about the question, but what I meant to say that the desire for self-growth or enlightenment beyond that spiritual growth is kind of considered to be helpful. So although letting go of all these desires is helpful, but then they also differentiate what might be more helpful on the journey. If you are not able to leave everything, leave what is not helpful and continue with what is helpful in human life.
아니 단다 키란디 티워디 세우지 코마 숭숭우드라 단다 디시드 nganzu기 단다 차벌레디다 펜토와디 단다 이어지기 열셔서 지gle 야버드 상워다 녜발은 디소소 like 펜도 요아이나 디갈라니 츠니 도구레스 무투니 핑기 메와이나 디샤야 디 이어지기 열레스 수수랑이 야게 타인다 칸데 임바네 딜라도 야가 차기 열레스 디게 디갈라니 츠응구고 열레스
ni machak pe lodi ke ara tan go thablam di gare chila te ni machak pe lodi ke yana.
So what are the ways through which we can have this non-attachment? What are the methods?
I just tried to answer this question in the sense that a lot of people, what they have mentioned is apart from meditation and contemplative practices, also looking at what they think about the world, what they think about how long this, the outcomes of your goals or the pleasure will last, and how helpful it is or how unhelpful it is. There might be many practices, I guess, in Buddhist tradition, and maybe you can enlighten us about that.
아니 단다 쿠란 속에 단다 시두가라 둠제다 덴데 시산 시교라스 둠 단다 직 수수기 미규 심사디기 둠제디 칸데지 중구도 디 규링레 니기도스 아니 단다 둠제 덴데 스테임 바이나 수술 팽기도 팽김도 딜 따니 시교레스 여와제단디 니 ngaran고니 단다 키란 속에 단다 남베난데 단다디 마차발라디 칸데질 샤교미 디 콘도도스
아니 치라나 마차발 용들라란 소와 간데실레도스
쿠란 티오라
그러나 마차바이 달리라 초 리디 아니 초 간데실레도스.
So what do you feel when you talk about non-attachment? When you say non-attachment, what do you feel? So how do one feel when they say non-attachment?
That's an interesting question. I guess like a lot of these questions are coming about the experiential aspect of it. If you are asking my personal experience, okay, probably about this presentation, I am trying my best, but I don't know whether I'm successful or not, whether I have all the answers or not, and how much each one of us will take back. I'm here just for the experience sake.
단다 ngaran gergi shona tanda shetumdus ngaran kan thada chies dinata len changma gyapthumdu di seuji shetumdus tanda
Machak pasena da di soso pin chela da sewa yara sewa ni pe chakwa cha degra odi pang bajira ko gore tha renu do ya pin chela sewa yara sewa di tes machan di la di tes simjan tham ja jik pare samjera soso pin jela jibo main bara 다 샘전 소소 빈자된 소라 다 세와 디테시 타르노 다 샘전 탐절라 다 캬바지 공고레사.
So non-attachment, when we talk about, we say that the love you extend towards your family or your child shouldn't be restricted to that. You have to think each and everyone is equal, and we have to extend this love, and we should have this sense of non-attachment, and we should treat each and everyone equal.
빈빈자라 펜도 지와도 되는 신지 이양라 펜도 지와니 빈빈자라 펜도 지 셈바데 차반데 되게거네 대지라든 신지 이양발라 펜도 지와니 차반 마데건 펜도 지와니네 제바데 지
So she gave example of you should not be attached to your friends or families.
So yes, non-attachment can be seen in multiple realms, like for things, for people, even for ideas or experiences. So yes, the non-attachment for people is one of them.
다 단다 캔주기 단다 차고다 낭미다 단다 빈자다 단다 촉보다 총모딘데 셰로스 디치부 마이바 수수 삼수다 따와다 냠냠다 디 창만다 차고데 시로스.
만수기 가릴라네 교회 생슈나네 아니 년랭기 풍부실라 맞아발라 교회 생슈나네 년랭기 풍부실라 맞아발.
So we talk about non-attachment when we are not attached to psychophysical aggregates.
너 그런 게 차발라니 니저기 차파시다 아니 산저기 차발람 니 셔기다 아니 산저기 차발람 나 가르치려 셔기래.
So you talked about attachment. You said whether it's helpful or not helpful. So what do you consider something as helpful and something as non-helpful? How do you distinguish between these two?
When it comes to clinging and craving, it may not be, I think anything would not be helpful, but probably when they talk about at the desire level, a little less in intensity, it would be helpful to desire for having more compassion, more joyfulness, spiritual growth, helping the world, maybe improving oneself. I guess so.
Ta thanda sangwa da nyembalan shigyo ras dinal ta sangwa la de penthoya la di peshaoina chigla deba yo che di ani thanda ngar do lana di shuk jora di tis nyuwa yo ina ani keben yores an thana shi chida pezen do shaun susu rangi yarge ta jora di en chu yores digena.
Here we are mixing desire and attachment.
코른 기제나 차바다.
Mix desire and attachment. From Buddhist viewpoint, attachment is something that must be discarded. Desire, yes, there are positive, negative desires. Attachment is always negative. So these two are different.
So if you can explain a little more about these differences, desire and attachment.
I'm sorry to intervene in the nuns' discussion, but I'm so tempted to say something. Desire is just desire. It can be positive, it can be negative. Desire means wishing to get something. So therefore there can be a positive desire to become for the benefit of all sentient beings. But when we say attachment, it is obsession with something. The best example that is given in Buddhism is other negative emotions like collecting dust on dry clothes. You can shake them, off very easily. But attachment is like a piece of cloth which is soaked in oil and then collected by dust. It's very difficult to get it separated from the object. So that attachment is always negative emotion.
So you,
I will not intervene anymore.
just one more. Is it like intensity is different? When someone is desiring with like the craving level.
Exactly. Desire, with desire, it is not necessary that you get obsessed and you get blind. With attachment, you get mixed with the object. You get stuck with the object. And in Buddhist practice, what we need is not to get stuck somewhere, but to get freedom. Get up and go. Get enlightenment. So that I think is the difference.
So intensity wise.